Have you ever thought about what secrets lie behind Hagrid's kind-hearted nature? What if his past was far more tragic and mysterious than you imagined? In today's video, you will find out the truth about the most beloved professor in Harry Potter. Rubeus Hagrid is one of the most endearing characters in the wizarding world. A gentle giant, fiercely loyal and always willing to help, even at his own risk. He cares deeply for magical creatures and stands by Harry and his friends through thick and thin. But despite his big heart, he has always been an outcast, looked down upon by some wizards, excluded from society, carrying the weight of past accusations. Why did Hagrid live this way? What made him different? Hagrid's father was a kind and loving wizard, though his name remains a mystery. He raised his son with warmth, teaching him all he could. But Hagrid's mother? That's where things take a darker turn. Her name was Fridwulfa, a giantess. Unlike his father, she had no interest in raising a child. When Hagrid was just 3, she abandoned the family, disappearing without a trace. His father did his best to care for him, but fate was cruel. At only 12, Hagrid lost his father, leaving him an orphan. Who took care of him after that? No one really knows. One thing is clear, he learned to survive on his own from a young age. Despite his tragic past, Hagrid found a home at Hogwarts, placed in Gryffindor House. He was 2 years younger than Tom Riddle, the boy who would become Lord Voldemort. Even then, Hagrid had a deep love for magical creatures, even the dangerous ones, and that love became his downfall. When the Chamber of Secrets was opened, Tom Riddle needed a scapegoat. He accused Hagrid of the attack, claiming that his pet, Acromantula, Aragog, was the monster behind it all. The Ministry of Magic didn't need much convincing. Despite the lack of real evidence, they expelled Hagrid from Hogwarts. His wand was snapped, his education was over, his future stolen. The only person who stood by him? Albus Dumbledore. He fought to let Hagrid stay at Hogwarts as gamekeeper, but that didn't erase the stigma. For years, Hagrid lived under the weight of false accusations, unable to practice magic freely. Years later, thanks to Harry Potter and his friends, the truth finally came to light. Hagrid was cleared of all charges, and for the first time in his life, he was given a true place of honor. He became a professor of care of magical creatures, a job he was born for. Under Dumbledore's protection, life at Hogwarts was good. But with the arrival of Dolores Umbridge, everything changed. She saw Hagrid as a threat. His lessons were sabotaged, his presence questioned. And when Severus Snape became headmaster, Hagrid was once again forced into hiding. No matter how much he gave, the world never fully accepted him. Hagrid was more than a teacher, he was a warrior. From the First Wizarding War to the rise of Voldemort, he remained fiercely loyal to Dumbledore. He risked his life recruiting giants to fight against the Dark Lord, though the mission ended in disaster. When Hogwarts became a battleground, Hagrid stood on the front lines. He fought alongside students, professors, and members of the Order of the Phoenix. Even when Voldemort himself used him to carry Harry's lifeless body, Hagrid never lost faith. And when the dust settled, he was still standing. No one knows for sure what happened after the war, but one thing is certain, Hagrid never left Hogwarts. He continued teaching, caring for magical creatures, and keeping the school's deepest secrets. And love? There was one person who could match his strength and heart. Madame Olympe Maxime, the half-giantess from Beauxbatons. Did they stay together? It's possible. After all, if anyone deserved happiness, it was Hagrid. A tragic hero, a gentle giant, a man who never gave up even when the world turned against him. That is the true story of Rubeus Hagrid. Rubeus Hagrid's past is shrouded in mystery. We know him as the half-giant with a kind heart, a protector of magical creatures, and an unwavering ally to Harry Potter. But what happened in the years between his expulsion from Hogwarts and his fateful meeting with the boy who lived? Were there secrets buried in his past that even Dumbledore never revealed? After Hagrid was expelled in 1943, he remained at Hogwarts under Dumbledore's protection, working as the school's gamekeeper. But a young man, barely 16, stripped of his wand and future, how did he truly feel? Did he ever attempt to reclaim what was taken from him? Some say Dumbledore allowed him access to secret magical knowledge, teaching him spells that didn't require a wand. Others whisper that Hagrid left the castle more often than anyone suspected, disappearing for days at a time. One of the biggest mysteries surrounds his family. We know his mother, Fridwulfa, abandoned him as a child. But what of his father? Hagrid always spoke of him fondly, yet no one ever saw or mentioned his final days. Did he pass away naturally, or was there something more sinister involved? In one rare moment, Hagrid let slip. "Me dad would have been right proud. He always said I'd do great things." What great things? Was he referring only to his care for magical creatures, or something else entirely? There's speculation that Hagrid was involved with the Order of the Phoenix long before Harry arrived at Hogwarts. He knew too much, understood too well the dangers Voldemort posed. Could Dumbledore have trusted him with early missions? After all, who better to navigate dangerous lands, seek out rare magical allies, and transport secret cargo than someone as formidable as Hagrid? His frequent trips away from the castle hint at tasks far beyond the usual duties of a gamekeeper. During the First Wizarding War, Hagrid's role remains suspiciously undocumented. While others fought openly, he remained in the shadows. Some believe he was the one who first approached the Giants on Dumbledore's behalf, trying to sway them against Voldemort. Others claim he acted as a courier for the Order, delivering messages and artifacts too dangerous to trust with ordinary wizards. "Dumbledore gave me a job," he once told Harry. "A job only I could do." What jobs exactly, and how many? There are also hints that Hagrid had a close friendship, perhaps even a lost love, that the books never explored. He was deeply affected when Madame Maxime left after their journey to the Giants. But what if there had been someone before her, a witch or wizard who truly saw past his half-giant heritage? A name appeared once in an old Hogwarts registry: Eleanor Branstone, a student from decades earlier. Some suspect she may have been more than just a friend to Hagrid. We must also consider the creatures he raised. Aragog was just the beginning. There were rumours of a great winged beast hidden deep within the Forbidden Forest, something Hagrid alone tended to. Some say it was a thunderbird brought to him by Newt Scamander himself. Others whisper it was a creature so rare and powerful that even the Ministry feared it. Could Hagrid have been trusted with guarding something more dangerous than we ever knew? His loyalty to Dumbledore was absolute, but what if that loyalty was tested? During the war, many were forced to choose between survival and resistance. Hagrid was never one to back down from a fight, yet he was not a warrior. Did he ever face a moment when he was asked to betray his beliefs? Perhaps a time when his love for magical creatures put him in conflict with the Order's goals. There is one account, lost in old records, that suggests he once stood against the Ministry to protect a group of displaced magical beings. Was this why he was constantly watched? Even his infamous pink umbrella raises questions. Ollivander once remarked that broken wands rarely function properly, yet Hagrid's seemed to work just fine. Was it only Dumbledore's magic that restored it, or was there something more? Some speculate that hidden within the umbrella was more than just the remnants of his old wand, perhaps another core, something ancient and powerful, given to him for a reason only Dumbledore understood. Hagrid's past is a puzzle with missing pieces. He was more than just a caretaker of beasts and a friend to Harry. His life before we met him was filled with unspoken adventures, hidden alliances, and perhaps even heartbreaks we will